Hello, my name is Suzanne Janssen and I'm the Public Art Manager for the city. Loveland's Art in Public Places program was established in 1985. That's 1 year after the first Sculpture in the Park show was held in Benson Sculpture Garden. At that time, Loveland became the first municipality to establish a 1% for the Arts program, which allows 1% of all city capital projects valued at $50,000 or more to be placed in a special fund for the acquisition, display, and ongoing maintenance of artwork in public spaces. That fund is overseen by the Visual Arts Commission, which is a 9-member Loveland resident board. Currently, there are 509 individual works of art on display throughout our community. The truly unique aspect of this collection is that just under 70% of the value of the artwork has been donated to the city by private arts organizations, artists, and private donors. That's truly remarkable for a community of this size. The month of June is very busy for Art in Public Places as we have several projects underway. The first I'd like to talk to you about is the Art Advocacy Project, or TAP 3D. This is a 1-year on-loan sculpture program that started in 2009, basically to beautify our downtown planter beds and provide an additional showcase for sculptors. We removed 7 artworks that were installed last June, and we began to install 7 new sculptures that will be on display until 2021.
This was a very different process where I went to a junkyard. I found these big truck hoods, maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them. And then using the creases and the details in the truck hoods, I cut pieces out and bent them to make this shape of a group of 3 people as a family. So it's very much more of an organic kind of design it as I go instead of designing it prior on the computer. It started in 2010 was when the idea kind of started. I was living in Salt Lake at the time, and there was some legislation in California that was trying to define who could and couldn't marry each other. And I thought, A, that was ridiculous, and B, one state shouldn't be sending money to another to influence their politics. So I had a lot of friends in the LGBTQ community, and I realized that their families, they were telling me stories about how their families felt like they're under attack and they need to be kind of a defensive posture to weather that. So I thought, well, why don't I try and represent what I'm hearing from them in a sculpture? And I thought, well, what better thing to show a family that feels like it's under siege than a bunch of battered truck hoods? So, and I certainly can't speak for the LGBTQ community, but I feel like maybe I could say something about what I saw them experience.
This piece is called Germination. The top and bottom discs that hold the piece up and cap it off are actually recycled old farm harrows from farm implements. And then the way this piece is built, it's ceramic, but inside there's a steel frame upon which I've attached a half-inch cement backer board that they use in showers when they're putting shower tile in. And then I mortared and grouted the ceramic work to that surface. So it's actually hollow inside. The idea behind it for me was taking abstract forms, almost like from seed form into full-blown shapes. I was being really quite free with it. I didn't have a lot of planning ahead of time. And so as I was sculpting the clay, I started out with little round shapes at the bottom, kind of emerging and then developing into forms. Some are a little bit figurative, others are naturalistic, others are just abstract. But the idea that all forms in this world come from a very tiny seed or egg or some very single cell, as in humans, and how they can manifest in so many different ways.
My piece, the March Hare 2020, it's all found object, represents what we've all been going through in the last couple of months. With a lot of my work, I like to represent a message. I have Alice in Wonderland, a theme kind of going on. And what I want to show is a sense of enlightenment or a sense of awareness. We need to be more consciously aware of our consciousness and what's going on and what we're doing ourselves.
During this month, Two artists will also be transforming two alleyways with their mural work. The first is Jenny Milner, who applied to a competition in the spring and was awarded the commission with her design called Beettown.
There's going to be 3 panels. So the first panel is about living in Loveland, and then the second panel will be more of an interactive panel. It's a close-up of the edge of the river, and so there's the river and then the rocks, and I love the color in it. It's purples and greens and blues, and not what you think of as like river colors, but like the feeling of the river more. And we need a space that you can take photos that's just kind of wild color and just pattern. And so that's what that panel is going to be. And then the third one is, it's actually a portrait of an artist. So it's going to be a little graffiti-ish, but there's going to be an artist in the middle, and then the beats will go down the edges in between.
During the month of June, we hope that you will walk and bike throughout the city to enjoy the array of artwork on display in our city parks and sculpture gardens, and when they're open, our city buildings. With the diversity of art on display, there is truly something for everyone.